back to Balvigyan Bharti. Now in this chapter we will start from problem number 12 on arithmetic progression. The problem starts with the description that which term of the progression, there is a specific progression has been given. First term is 201, 192, the next one 183, and this is progressing till some number. The condition is there that you have to find the first negative term. So now this is a kind of problem which has a different, you can say the test of the problem is different. It's not a regular problem till date we have discussed, but there is no there is no much of criticality in that. If the person has understood the AP particularly, he could solve the problem easily. You have to be very you can say the confidence should be such that this kind of problem, unknown problem, if it being faced, can easily be solved with the knowledge of AP. So only thing is that if somewhat it is being twisted, you should not be very uncomfortable in any situation. Okay, so if you very calm and cool, you can find the clue easily. Why I am saying so much of thing without solving the problem directly, that sometimes the confident students also be very uncomfortable when it is in a situation of exam hall. Even a simple problem that doesn't click so quickly to them, and that ruins the total exam itself. Okay, so don't be very much afraid of getting the twists and turns or a new kind of things. If you very much confident yourself, understood the subject properly, then any problem you can solve. That is the thing I can tell you from my own experience. Okay, so the thing is that it is given, and so if you slowly progress on the part of solution, you can find there is a first term given. What are the information given? You just write down slowly. You know the common difference because 3 consecutive terms has been given, so you can easily find the common difference. Okay, so what is your common difference? -9. So up to that you have 2 information which can easily find the AP series. Now the first negative terms, this is the clue. So when the thing comes as negative, we know the basic understanding of negativity starts from a certain point. The point starts when it is coming down below 0, because negativity or positivity depends on the pivotal point of 0. So whenever anything comes down below the 0, it is a negative point. So this is a clue in this, that the negative terms when it will start. You know your common difference, you know your first terms. By reducing -9, that means 9 from this term, because why it is coming -9? Because the consecutive terms is decremental. So in the same way, when it is reaching below 0, that means it is must reducing. So that concept you can understand. Now first term, you know you know your common difference means how you have to reduce your consecutive terms by 9. So one thing people can do, you can continuously subtract 9 from 201 to get to reach up to that point or with the help of AP concept you can reach. So if we can let the term which is first negative comes at nth term. Okay, this is my assumptions. So with that, the equation that can be set is the term can be L. We can assume the first negative term says L has to be found out. We don't know that. What is my information? A, the first term. So as per the formula, it is A plus n minus 1 into D. So if I assume that L is the term where I will get the first negative term, so out of this, if it is being represented with first term, common difference and n term, the things we don't know on the other side is n only. So we assume that n is giving you the first negative terms. Okay, fine. And the things we know is L is what? L is, even if it is not a definite value we will get, but the clue said it is negative, that means it must be less than 0. So this inequation sometimes help you to find the value. So L is less than 0, that is definite. So with this help, if I put the value of all this known thing, this 201 plus n minus 1 into minus d, we can put an inequation. Unless what we have got till now, we have got equation only. So only difference is that this time you have to solve it by inequation. So inequation you also have solved in our career. You know how to solve the inequation, only you have to treat it as good as equation to get a closer value of the thing. Okay, now as you can see that n cannot be a fraction. So if the probable value comes near to a integer, so then you can take from the benefit of the doubt, the term must be the nearby terms. Okay, nearby the fraction terms. Okay, this will be my m. So fixing that m, we can proceed. So what would be my result then? Now here is one concept of inequation you know, that will come later. So let me solve it first to the nearest, then I will give you the concept. Okay, it is less than 0. So now as it is negative, going to the other side in an equation, it will change the sign, as in equation also we did. So there is no change in the inequation situation, because we are putting the negative one on the other side. If we are putting this on the other side, this will go with the negative sign, and if you want to remove the negative sign on the both side, what you have to do, you have to change the sign from lesser to less than to greater than. How it is? Let's say we are having some equation a less than minus 9. So this, when you change the sign and put positive sign on the both side, so in this case this inequation will change to the other one, lesser than to greater than. Because you know, in the number line, whenever we move below 0, the value when it is increasing will gives you lesser valuation. That means from here the thing will come first is minus 1, then minus 2. That means you can see individually, if you see the value will increase, but negativity, when it is increases, the valuation comes down. But in the positive side, it happens the reverse. So that's why when we will remove the sign, the inequation will change also. Okay, you have to remember this. This is very simple concept, but people make mistakes. That's why. Okay, now from there, what do you understand? Ki 9n minus 1 is greater than 201. As 201 lesser than this, so on the other way, this can be turned and we can shift the inequation other side, because we need our variable on the left side on general concept. So from there, what we can find, n minus 1 is greater than, if I divide it 201 by 9, what we can find, 9 to the 18, and 9 to the 18 and point something. How much it is? 9 to the 18 2 1, 9 to the 18 3 0, 3 9s are 7 27. Then this much is coming. N minus 1 is greater than 22.33. So n is greater than how much you are getting? 20. If we add 1 there, so 23.33. So now n cannot be a fraction. As I said, n is must be an integer, because this represent the term position. The term position is all integers. So n, if it is greater than this one, so this will tell you when if n is more than this value, it will give you negative value. So n cannot be a fraction. So what would be my answer? N must be equal to the next higher term, integer term is 24. So which term is in the progression is the first negative terms? It is 24 would be the answer. Understood? Okay, this is a kind of a different kind of problem in AP, but it is very useful problem to understand. Okay, so I'll come to the next problem. The next problem says if sum of first p terms of an AP is given by an expression AP square plus BP. Now you understand, the first p terms means instead of the usually we are taking as n as the number of terms, here they have changed to change our mindset, because there is always a need of this, because if you stuck with some concept and if you make it a habit to pick that understanding always, you will able to make mistake. Okay, so that's why sometimes the question may not be so tough, but the representation may give you some trouble. So this time the sum of the first p terms has been taken, and p is nothing but any value. It is a number of terms, as we are taking n as a number of term. So this time this is ps. So we can represent it as sp. So that means p number of terms, the sum, as we have already represented it during my theory classes. Sn represents the sum of n terms. Here sum of p terms is given by an expression ap square plus bp. Okay, fine. So now if this gives you the sum of the terms, so what it needs, find the common difference. So the common difference, now this is a basic concept is coming together. Now if I say the AP series, the term is represented by T1, T2, T3 like that, dot. In this case, if I say the sum of one term is equivalent to term 1, because if you are trying to make a sum of one term, so that will include only one term only. Now if I go further and if I try to get the sum of two terms, so that means that will give you the sum of first two terms. Okay, so now from this, if I subtract s2 minus s1, that means sum of two terms minus sum of one terms, what it will give you? T1 plus T2 which will represent the sum of two terms minus the sum of one terms is T1. So ultimately it will give you T2. So that means and this will give you T2, that means the second terms. So if you can represent with the name of with the help of sum given, if sum is given by an expression, so you can see the sum of one term can be represented by T1. Okay, so T1 can be represented with S1 and T2 can be represented with S2 minus S1, that we find right now. Okay, so now the common difference is what? Is the difference between the two consecutive terms. Here S2 minus S1 is give you the T2 and S1 will give you the T1. Now the common difference is what? Common difference is nothing but term 2 minus term 1, two consecutive terms. Here we have represented this T2 and T1, the two consecutive terms. Now what is your T2 then? T2 is nothing but S2 minus S1. Okay, as per the calculation you found it here. And T1 is nothing but S1, isn't it? So ultimately if we calculate, this will give you S2 minus 2S1. So common difference is nothing but we have derived, that can be found out by this formula, where if we start with, we have assumed that term is T1, T2, T3. Now S1 is nothing but sum of 1 terms, that is equivalent to T1, and if we take S2, then that is the sum of 2 terms, that is T1 plus T2. Now what is your S2 minus S1? S2 minus S1 if I do, I will get T1 plus T2 minus T1, that gives you the second terms. So if I now represent T1, T2 in the two consecutive terms, so S1 will represent T1 and S2 minus S1 will represent T2. Now my common difference as per the definition is difference between the two terms, T2 minus T1. Now if I put the value in terms of the summation, so what T2 says S2 minus S1 and T1 says this is S1 again. So if we remove the bracket and see what the result I am getting for common difference, it gives S2 minus 2S1. Understand? So now if you can establish the formula like this, now any expression given, if we put the value accordingly, S2 means in place of P you have to put 2, so my result will become 2 square plus B into 2. This will be my S2, and my S1 will be, because there is already there is a coefficient, that 2 has to be kept as it is. Now S1 will give when P value is 1 here, so if I put P is equal to 1 square plus B into P. Now you calculate it, this is 4A plus 2B, and removing the bracket I will get here 2A minus 2B. So now you can see that BB part can be cancelled and we will get 2A as a result. So this will be my common difference. So if I solve this equation, I am getting the common difference is 2A. That is the need of the question. Understood? So I will end up here, because this is a two different kind of problem that I have discussed. You go through that. If you are not able to understand, please comment me. I will come back again. Okay. Thank you for now.